The Big Bang Theory franchise has found its perfect Leonard and Penny replacement, but with a caveat. After over a decade of geeky banter, scientific chaos, and one of television's most unlikely love stories, The Big Bang Theory left a gap that few sitcoms could fill. The relationship between Leonard Hofstadter and Penny remains one of TV's most iconic dynamics, the nerd meets girl next door formula that balanced intellect with heart. But in young Sheldon's evolving spin-off universe, it seems the franchise has finally found the perfect modern equivalent of Leonard and Penny. However, there's one important caveat. While the chemistry is there, and the setup feels familiar, this new duo's story exists in a world that has evolved far beyond the original simplicity. The Young Sheldon follow-up series isn't just copying what worked before, it's rewriting the formula for a new era of the Big Bang Theory storytelling. The legacy of Leonard and Penny's dynamic. To understand why this new pairing resonates, we first have to remember what made Leonard and Penny work so well. They were an emotional anchor in a show dominated by eccentric genius and comic absurdity. Leonard, the experimental physicist, was brilliant yet painfully self-aware, insecure about his place in the world and his relationships. Penny, a struggling actress and waitress from Nebraska, grounded him with her warmth, practicality, and sharp sense of humor. Their relationship wasn't built on mutual interests, far from it. Leonard's world was Star Wars marathons and quantum physics papers, while Penny's was auditions, gossip, and a knack for reading people. But that contrast was exactly the point. The Big Bang Theory used their love story to explore empathy and growth, showing how two wildly different people could learn from one another. By the time the series ended, Leonard and Penny had grown up, figuratively and literally. They'd evolved from awkward neighbors to a married couple expecting a child, symbolizing that emotional compatibility could matter more than intellectual alignment. That kind of chemistry is rare, and for years, no follow-up in the Big Bang universe had managed to recreate it. Until now. Enter Georgie Cooper and Mandy MC Allister. In Young Sheldon, what began as a quirky, morally questionable subplot quickly transformed into the franchise's most grounded and endearing romance since Leonard and Penny. Georgie Cooper, Sheldon's older brother, and Mandy MC Allister, his older girlfriend turned wife, have quietly become the emotional core of the Big Bang Theory universe's expansion. At first glance, they seem nothing like Leonard and Penny. Georgie isn't a brilliant scientist, he's a high school dropout with entrepreneurial dreams. Mandy, meanwhile, isn't the struggling aspiring actress archetype. She's a local news weather forecaster who ends up pregnant after a fling with Georgie. Yet, underneath the surface, the parallels are uncanny. Georgie's earnestness, insecurity, and hidden intelligence mirror Leonard's personality in surprising ways. Mandy's charm, resilience, and growing affection for a man she initially underestimated make her a spiritual successor to Penny. Like Leonard and Penny, their relationship starts unevenly. There's an age gap, a mismatch in maturity, and conflicting goals. But as their story unfolds, it becomes clear that what they lack in similarity, they make up for in loyalty and emotional depth. Why Georgie and Mandy work so well? Part of what makes Georgie and Mandy's story resonate is its authenticity. While The Big Bang Theory often leaned into sitcom exaggeration, laugh tracks, elaborate setups, and over-the-top jokes, Young Sheldon has always treated its characters with a touch more realism. When Mandy learns she's pregnant, the storyline doesn't dissolve into comedic chaos. It becomes a portrait of two young people navigating an adult world before they're ready. Mandy's skepticism and Georgie's nervous optimism make their relationship feel raw and relatable. Over time, Georgie grows into a man capable of supporting a family, while Mandy softens her cynicism and learns to trust him. Their arc isn't about scientific genius or romantic idealism. It's about love forged through circumstance, perseverance, and mutual respect. That's what made Leonard and Penny iconic too. For all their differences, both couples share a deep emotional honesty that transcends their contrasting worlds. The evolution of the geek and the girl trope. The Big Bang Theory's premise thrived on the early 2000s pop culture divide, the geek versus the normal world. Leonard and Penny embodied that clash, playing out the fantasy of the kind-hearted nerd who gets the beautiful, confident girl. But Georgie and Mandy's dynamic reflects how much both television and society have evolved since then. Today, audiences are less interested in romanticizing opposites purely for comedic effect. Instead, we want to see partnerships built on mutual growth, communication, and emotional vulnerability. Georgie isn't portrayed as a joke or underdog. He's competent, determined, and emotionally intelligent in his own rough-edged way. Mandy, on the other hand, isn't just the attractive prize. She's a fully developed character with ambitions, insecurities, and agency. In this sense, young Sheldon's writers have modernized the Leonard and Penny formula. They've kept the heart, a couple from different worlds learning to love each other, but removed the outdated imbalance that sometimes made Leonard and Penny's story feel like a male fantasy. The caveat: a different kind of love story. And here's the caveat: Georgie and Mandy might be the perfect Leonard and Penny replacement, but their story isn't built to play out in the same comedic, long-running way. In The Big Bang Theory, Leonard and Penny's slow-burn romance stretched across 12 seasons, filled with breakups, reconciliations, and comedic misunderstandings. It was a sitcom relationship that evolved through repetition. By contrast, Georgie and Mandy's story is unfolding in a more focused, serialized format. Young Sheldon handles its emotional arcs with greater narrative efficiency, no filler breakups, no redundant jealousy plots. The pacing feels real, but that also means their story might conclude sooner. The upcoming Georgie and Mandy's first marriage spin-off set after young Sheldon promises to dive deeper into their family life. But even that show seems designed to offer a slice-of-life look at early adulthood rather than drag out their romance indefinitely. In short, while Leonard and Penny were sitcom icons, Georgie and Mandy are modern dramedy leads, a new kind of Big Bang Theory couple that trades broad laughs for emotional texture. How the franchise has grown up. The tonal evolution of the franchise mirrors the progression of its characters. The Big Bang Theory began as a traditional laugh-track sitcom, larger than life, joke-driven, and formulaic. Young Sheldon shifted toward a character-driven dramedy about family, identity, and growth. Now, with Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, the universe seems poised to continue that trend. Instead of revisiting the same archetypes, it's exploring how those archetypes mature. Leonard's insecurity and Penny's ambition are reborn in Georgie's self-doubt and Mandy's protective independence. But the emotional context is richer. It's no longer about proving that the nerd can get the girl. It's about exploring what happens after the fairy tale, when love meets responsibility, exhaustion, and compromise. Why fans are ready for this change. The response from fans has been overwhelmingly positive. Viewers who grew up with The Big Bang Theory now relate more to Georgie and Mandy's adult struggles than to Leonard and Penny's early relationship drama. Parenting, financial challenges, and balancing dreams with duty are themes that hit closer to home for an audience that has matured alongside the franchise. Mandy's confidence and Georgie's earnestness make them refreshingly stable for a sitcom couple, something Leonard and Penny often struggled with. They argue, yes, but their conflicts come from realistic pressures rather than contrived misunderstandings. Their chemistry isn't about tension, it's about trust. And that's what makes them the perfect successors to the Leonard-Penny dynamic. A look ahead. The future of love in the Big Bang universe. If Georgie and Mandy's first marriage succeeds, it could redefine what romance means within the Big Bang Theory.